let's start with sort of an obvious one. How do you coordinate almost 24 high school kids to all end up in the same place without any supervision from the university or the football program?
It takes a lot of skills, but it really actually started with the quarterback. So Garrett's mom contacted me a few weeks ago, and we talked about the idea of us coming together with a group. The great news is most of these kids have seen each other at different visits, different schools throughout their recruiting process. And so they're all kind of familiar. They're all on Twitter together. Even though it seems like a large group, it's actually a pretty tight community of kids. And so once she started getting the ball rolling and Garrett started jumping in and helping, and everyone just contacting everyone else, it actually was pretty easy to get the kids to want to do it and to actually get there.
Do you know how many? I've heard different numbers, but how many of the kids, the prospects, were in Baton Rouge this weekend?
Yes, I actually counted several times, and at one point because it kept changing, like
right.
every food event, everything that we did, there was a different number. But at one point, we had 20 kids there, so that was the most we had. But most of those kids participated in everything.
So you said there was a food event, participated in everything. So what all did you do?
We did a lot in like a 19-hour period of time. It was crazy. We started out, we met up at one of the restaurants, and we got food to go, and Garrett's mom had rented a Airbnb for her family, and she let us know that she was totally cool with everyone meeting up there and for the kids to spend the night. And so we went to the Airbnb, and from there, it just kind of started going. So we actually went to dinner together. We went and did our own little tour of the campus on our own. We got to see Mike the Tiger, which is like the coolest thing ever.
It is pretty cool, right? Like, we all take that for granted, but there's a freaking tiger right there on campus.
I'm telling you, as long as we see Mike the Tiger, we are happy. So then we just kind of walked around campus a little bit, and we also did Top Golf in the evening. The kids all spent the night at the Airbnb, and then in the morning, we all met for breakfast, actually ended up being lunch because getting the kids to get them awake was a miracle.
Right.
And we all met for lunch, and then everyone just kind of went their own way after that.
So you said 19 hours. When did your family get to Baton Rouge, and when did you all leave?
So we actually arrived on Friday evening. We flew into New Orleans and then drove there. So we were actually by ourselves most of the time. And then we're a little obsessed with Raising Cane's. And so just a little, Tristian, every school visit, everywhere we go, we have a couple in Virginia, but not like they are in the South. And of course, Baton Rouge is like the birthplace of Raising Cane's. So that's where we met up with the vast majority of them was around noon on Saturday. I guess it was about 24 hours. And if you count the fact that the kids didn't sleep at all, it was a full 24 hours.
Got it. Laura Rigney is our guest. Tristian Leigh is her son, the 5-star offensive lineman out of Virginia, one of 20 prospects that were in Baton Rouge. Did y'all go to the original Canes?
We did. We met in the parking lot, and we very quickly realized that there was nowhere to go inside. And so when we decided just to go ahead to the Airbnb, which was a great idea because the kids love just having that time to sit and talk without any structure and just to get to know each other.
I'm also interested how you all were able to go about the tour. I mean, did you see Tiger Stadium? Did you get like a campus tour, like academic campus tour as well? Or was it really just go ahead.
Oh, no, it's all right. So with NCAA shutting down recruiting, we weren't allowed to do anything that wasn't offered to everyone. Mm-hmm. So because there were no tours that were scheduled on Saturday, we were completely on our own. we did drive by the stadium, and we actually met up at a parking lot that was kind of in the middle of campus. But we walked over and looked at the football building, which we couldn't go in, and it was deserted anyway. But we at least got to look at it, and then we walked over to Mike the Tiger, and then the majority of the kids walked just like a straight line through campus as much as they could without being late for dinner.
What kind of an obvious question I think is why? Why organize all of this and go to the trouble when you can't have the supervision or the normal access of an official visit?
Well, unfortunately, because of COVID, this class kind of they were hit hard with the fact that they weren't going to get recruiting during the normal time frame that it was supposed to be scheduled for. And we still don't even know if there's going to be official visits or not, or if it's going to open back up. So it was 100% worth it, because even though we didn't get to do the traditional tours that you would do on an official visit, honestly, these kids getting to know each other was probably the single best recruiting technique that you could ever possibly do, because Garrett was there telling the boys, this is why you should make me your quarterback, and this is why you should make LSU your school.
Do you agree with him?
I mean, I think it was a great tactic for him. He actually is a really smart kid, and he's got a good head on his shoulders, and he was actually working on Aiden, because I know there's a high school, that's my younger son.
Right.
There's a high school that's attached within the campus, and he pointed out that field to him and said, look, you guys could be right next to each other. It was a great tactic, and I mean, the kids just absolutely got along perfect. The parents got along perfect, and I was really impressed, because we had kids all the way from California, and we all had to come out of our pocket, 100% out of our pocket for the whole weekend, and everyone did it. No one complained. Everyone was happy just to be there.
Laura, I'm not going to keep you much longer. Your time is very much appreciated. Laura Rigney is our guest. Her son is Tristian Leigh, the 5-star offensive lineman out of Virginia, talking about this big weekend. Have you had a chance and honestly, you have a sort of a rare perspective here too, because Tristan's been so highly recruited. You're experienced COVID recruitment, but also you experienced pre-COVID recruitment where it was obviously very intense. How would you say the relationship or the way that LSU staff has handled both, really? I mean, pre-COVID and now, what you all are able to experience, whatever that is.
I've been very fortunate, because that was actually our third trip there. And our first trip was at the camp a year ago with Tristan, and the coaches that are at LSU do a very good job, because they're not only telling you that they want to recruit you, but they're telling you why. They tell you what they like about you, what they want to improve about you. I mean, they give out information. The first time we walked around away from LSU, I said to Tristan, I said, this is the only school we've been to where they actually told you how to improve, and you could go somewhere else and use it against them. Yeah. And they don't care, because they truly love football. As soon as COVID hit, they've been really good about having the Zoom calls, and we basically had visits through Zoom, and we got to see a lot, which was good. But, nothing replaces being in that campus atmosphere and being right next to Mike. And I mean, nothing replaces that. So there were people there that had blindly recruited blindly committed to the school. Mm-hmm. And watching their excitement for seeing it the first time was unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I obviously don't have a kid that's being recruited like this, but I can understand as a parent just wanting to give your kid every opportunity to make the best decision. So what all of you did as parents this weekend for your sons, I think is awesome. So kudos, whatever the decision may be, whenever that time comes, especially during COVID and everything that's happening. But and for all of us who were kind of just watching from afar as this all played out on social media, it's been really cool to hear some of how it all went. So, Laura Rigney, I appreciate a couple of minutes. I know our audience does as well, and best to you and all of your family.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.